In our previous video, we did the calculations to see how something far away would look smaller and by what scale factor. And now we want to actually do a sketch, a 2-scale sketch. You'll need to do this if you want to get to the exceeding level. So I'm going to walk you through that now. So first you need to choose a scale factor. A scale factor is just a multiple. It's a number you're going to multiply by, so when you draw your object, everything is to the same scale. Now, if I actually take a look at this and my sheet of paper, they're pretty close in size. And so I want to shrink it a little bit to make it easier to draw, but not by much. So I'm going to choose a scale factor of 4/5 or 0.8. And I'm going to multiply all my dimensions by that number. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these numbers and multiply them by 0.8. If I take 6¼ inches and multiply it by 0.8, I actually get 5 inches. If I take 5 inches and multiply it by 0.8, I get 4 inches. If I take 3/8 and multiply it by 4/5 or 0.8, I get 0.3 inches. And my last dimension is this 4¼ up and down, and if I multiply that by 0.8, I get 3.4 inches. Now, these dimensions are just that outer rim, that front face. We'll get to the depth part later, but right now I'm just going to draw that to scale. Okay, here I am with a ruler. I'm going to do my best to mark different spots and then draw a straight line to scale. So the first dimension up here, according to my last thing, was 5.6 inches. And then I'm going to go down 4 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and sketch my lines. Okay, there we go. There are my outer dimensions of this shape. And now I want to go ahead and sketch the inner dimensions, which were 5 inches by 3.4 inches. And each of those sides was exactly 0.3 inches away from the edge. All right, now I've done a 2-scale drawing of just the edge. Now I want to do a back. Now, if you remember from the previous video, the back was 1 inch further away and my perspective was 6 inches. So that meant that it was 7 inches away from my eye. So we multiplied all its dimensions by 6/7 to account for the added depth. But then you take that 6/7 and you also multiply it by 4/5, which is our scale factor. So in this case, I'll take the dimensions of the inside and multiply it by 6/7 and by 4/5, and then draw it inside. Okay, and there you have it. The drawing here in blue has been multiplied by a scale factor of 4/5 in order to shrink it down to fit it in my sketch. But the one here in red, this internal rectangle, was not just multiplied by 4/5, but also by 6/7, because from my perspective of 6 inches, it was an extra inch further, so 6 inches compared to 7 inches. And that shrunk it further. And then I just sort of sketched these connection lines to the corner. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the camera here and measure out 6 inches away from the front of this object, and we'll see if it kind of matches up. Okay, as you can see in my sketch, it looks like I'm supposed to be able to see the inner sides of the left and right more than I see the inner side of the top and bottom. So let's see if that actually works out. And what do you know, if I look here, how much of this I can see compared to how much of this, it looks like I can see much more of that than I can of that side. Much more of this than I can of that side. Okay, there you go. Not only how to sketch an object to scale, but also scale factor back depending on how far each depth is away from you within the object.